An antagonist character is very important to any series, no matter what you're watching or reading. This character has to bring in question the morals and the goals of the protagonist character. But most importantly, it has to keep questioning the main theme that was placed in front of the audience at the very start of the series. And not too many series start off with the moral dilemma right away. Sometimes they build up to it, sometimes you find out midway, or you get a plot twist at the end like Attack on Titan. Or midway like Attack on Titan that changes your whole perspective on what's going on in the series. But it's always important to have a solid antagonist cast. There will be no Luke without Darth Vader. There will be no Aang without the Fire Nation. There will be no Naruto without Pain, Sasuke, Madara, and the list can go on. That's why I have to give credit when credit is due. See, there's a new gen series called Kagurabachi where the writer is doing a perfect job. I mean, a 10 out of 10 job creating peak antagonist characters that reinforce the ideas that he already laid out in the first chapter, and more importantly, the first arc. I've made videos before about how Kagurabachi has created some of the most generational antagonists, and when they get animated, everybody is going to be talking about Sojo, Kiora, Hirohiko. But after the latest chapter of Kagurabachi, chapter 73, Samura has officially entered the chat as being set up to be that moral gray antagonist character that's going to elevate the story even more. See, he's the fallen hero trope, the same fallen hero trope we saw in Eren Yeager and Itachi Uchiha. This isn't the only thing that makes Samura's character so great. Samura's character directly answers a question that was laid out for the viewers at the beginning of Kagurabachi, that very first arc. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Two Side Anime, and today we're going to dive into Samura's character and all the different elements that makes him a generational antagonist. And I can't wait for this character to get animated. The channel has officially been monetized, so if you guys want to support, please feel free to join the member. There's different tiers with different perks that will allow you to interact with me more and the channel, and also help me build a community to help support this channel. Back to the main purpose of this video. You know it's theory time. I'm about to talk a bunch of nonsense that sounds good, but just let me cook. Kozono Sensei is taking notes from Kishimoto Sensei. See, Kishimoto at the beginning of Naruto laid out the most important, which is bonds, true love, and the ultimate power that is released when you protect something or someone that you truly love, and the amount of sacrifices you have to make. Kishimoto displayed this when Naruto was able to finally do the multi-shadow clone jutsu. Iruka Sensei also showed us the meaning of this true power through a character called Haku and his relationship with Zabuza. See, Haku said verbatim that true power is unleashed when you protect something or someone that you truly love. And Naruto finally understood that in the end of the Chunin exam arc when he released his true power to protect Sakura from Garp. Was the main theme, the main question of Kagurabachi that was introduced in the very first arc. And it all comes back to Chihiro's father and what the enchanted blades represent. As the story continues to unfold, we keep seeing this question being slammed in our face, making us and Chihiro realize that there's another side of the enchanted blades, a history, a very dark history. First arc, the very first question was, who should wield the enchanted blades and what should the enchanted blades be used for? Chihiro believed that the blades, just like his father, are created to protect people from evil, while Sojo believed that the blades were creations for mass slaughter, mass destruction. And both characters were very in the right. The enchanted blades can be used for mass destruction, but they can also be used to protect people, just like they did in the war. But now we figured out that they were also used for mass destruction. Let me go back to my coin reference. Chihiro represented one side of the perspective of the enchanted blade, and Sojo represented another perspective of the enchanted blade. Both of these two characters came to the table and accepted their ideologies about the blades and clashed, with Chihiro winning. The story continued to progress, especially in the Sazanami arc, where Chihiro witnessed the mass destruction and the power behind one of the enchanted blades, the strongest enchanted blades. Chihiro started questioning what was even the purpose of creating these items. He needed to learn more information. That's why he was able to hand over his blade to the Wizard Police and told him that he will work with him so he can gain more knowledge about what took place during the Seiichi War. And that's how we landed up in this new arc, where we got introduced to probably one of the best characters in the series so far, and that's Samura. See, Samura represents that coin, both sides. He was a hero during the Seiichi War, and he also used the blades for mass destruction. He helped and aided in the ethnic cleansing of that island, something that haunted him for the rest of his life, to the point that he left his daughter and made sure she could never remember him. That PTSD ran deep in character, Samura's character, leading him to walk down this morally gray road where he's now working with the Hisaku, find all the locations of the sword bearers, kill the owners of the enchanted blades, find out who snitched on Chihiro's father and gave out his location. And I think as a community, we all know who snitched on Chihiro's father, but that's a video for another day. And also, he's gonna fight and kill every member of the Hisaku. Samura is taking on the same ideology of Itachi. In an attempt to handle everything by himself, he's sacrificing true bonds and relationships, especially with his daughter. See, another major theme of Kagurabachi is fatherhood, and we've seen that play out in almost every single arc we have experienced. The Sazanami arc, Kiora realizing he should have chosen to be a better father to his sons. Now Samura, who walked away from his daughter because of his PTSD and not wanting her to experience the hatred that the country has towards the heroes after the propaganda was spread about the ethnic cleansing of the people of that island. An antagonist, Samura represents everything that the story is trying to tell. The story of fatherhood, what it means to be a good father, and how to lead your children down the appropriate path. The enchanted blades should be allowed to wield these enchanted blades. Should these blades even exist in the real world? Yes, they can be used to protect the innocent, but they can also be used for weapons of mass destruction when they're placed in the wrong hand. History will continue to repeat itself. The only way to truly protect the world from the evil of the enchanted blades is by burning everything to the ground, starting anew. This sounds like one of my favorite characters from Star Wars, Count Dooku, how he wanted to reform the galaxy, but he walked down a dark path and ultimately turned to evil. You know that saying, every road to hell starts off with good intentions. I probably said that completely wrong, but you guys get what I'm trying to say, right? This idea of Samura burning everything to the ground is very in line with the animal he transforms into when he takes a slash. See, Samura turns into a crow, or a crow-like being or feathers when he attacks through somebody, similar to Itachi. Once again, but I'm not going to keep harping on that one. See, a crow has multiple spiritual meanings throughout Japanese culture, but one of my favorites is that it represents rebirth and rejuvenation after a great tragedy. After a great war or a great battle, crows will come and clean up the battlefield by eating and feeding on the departed souls. This is similar to the path that Samura is taking in Kagurabachi. See, he's slowly cleaning up everything that was left behind after the first great tragedy, the first great genocide with the enchanted blades. Samura wants to wipe out the three key players, the wizard police, the Hisaku, and also every sword bearer, washing them of their sins that they committed from the past, so they can stop the prophecy of a great war taking place. Let's not forget the owl. See, he has another ability that's represented through the eyes of an owl, and an owl in Japanese culture represents a being protecting people from misfortune. Once again, which was stated in the latest chapter of Kagurabachi, Samura is working to protect the world, or Japan, against another situation where the enchanted blades will be used for evil. Samura's character is very tragic in every sense of the word, but what makes it even more tragic is the fact that we know how his character arc is going to end. He's going to realize, just like Itachi, he's going to learn that trusting and believing in his daughter and Chihiro would have been the best solution to fight against the Hisaku, not taking everything on by himself. So now the question that's being left on the table, we know Samura is going to fail in his mission, but how's this all going to affect Chihiro's belief system about his father? How's this going to impact the moral road that he's going to walk down? See, that's what I'm worried about, because I feel like they're trying to turn Chihiro into a puppet. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Hisaku. But that's it for the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think down in the comment. And like I said, if you guys want to help support this channel, go ahead and join a member. And I'm gonna still work on some more perks and stuff I can give out for the channel members. Regardless, I still want to thank you guys for all the support for my first year on YouTube. Met a lot of milestones that I really didn't think were possible, and it's all because of you guys. Thank you.